Every once in a while, we get former teammates of yours in studio. Same with Noodles, but Noodles is in Vegas calling a game tonight. And you guys played together a couple of years. A year in Hartford, a year in Carolina. Stu Grimson in studio. What's up, Stu?
I'm great. Just as I walk into the studio, he's trying to set like ground rules for the discussion. Can I just put a little context on this? Mm-hmm. I know you've been on air with him a lot. This one will always be a rookie to me. Can we just start there? He'll always be a rookie to me.
How did you treat him when you first...
Snot-nosed punk will always be a rookie to me.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, I was 18 years old. He was like 30 in Hartford.
Can I tell you one of my... There are many. Can I tell you one of my favorite Jeff O'Neill stories? So I get traded from the Red Wings to the Hartford Whalers. Jeff O'Neill, was your second year in the league?
Probably, yeah.
It was your second year in the league. So I get traded to the Hartford Whalers. I'm there for 2 days, I think. I got 500, maybe 600 games under my belt at this point. Snot-Nose has played 80 games. He skates up to me in practice. He goes, so first piece of conversation we'd had together. Skates up to me in practice. So Reaper, you gonna be able to mix it up for us? You gonna be able to? Who is this kid? Who is this kid?
Just marching
Just trying to start some conversation.
Yeah. Get right into it.
Is that what you were looking for, a little pep talk when you first got there?
Yeah, I needed some inspiration from Jeff O'Neill I never heard of.
Right. Well, there you go. How about that?
One of my most horrifying moments, we just got torched one night in Montreal, and Paul Maurice has this bright idea. He's going to turn back the clock to John Brophy days, and he lines the whole team up at center ice, and he goes, I'm going to dunk the puck in the corner, and whoever you're matched up against, you got to go battle for it and take it to the net. So you look to the left, and I'm trying to break down.
Mapping out your spot in line, picking your opponent.
I'm mapping out my opponent, and I look, and Stu, I'm like, and I took the puck off him, and I scored, and Kelly Chase saved my life. He went and grabbed him and said, this can't happen right now.
I don't know if I even remember that. I'm sure it's a true story.
What would you have done, though, if you caught him? Was the plan to drop the gloves in front of Maurice?
Happened?
Yeah, were you going to get in a fight with a teammate in a puck battle?
Run away.
Stranger things have happened.
How many fights in practice did you get into?
Oh, not that many over the course of my career. One of my favorites, and Jeff will remember this one. Remember Carolina? We had Chico, Rick Sison. Enrico Ciccone was a Carolina Hurricane for a brief stretch of time. So Kevin Dineen, the heart and soul of our lineup, a great pro, a good friend of O and myself. Kevin Dineen is our captain back there. He's coming back from, did he have surgery on that abdominal? Yeah. He had sort of like the sports hernia. He was coming back from that, and it's a very delicate injury. So he's gradually, slow steps, rehabilitating. He's finally getting back to a point where he is day to day. He might be back in the lineup anytime. And I think we're having a skate the day before Dino's going to play. He's skating through center ice. He and his line mates, they're rushing through center ice. Enrico Ciccone steps up on him in middle ice, and he wrecks our captain, blows our captain up as he's coming back from abdominal surgery. I mean, I was in the other corner of the rink. I mean, I threw my stick in the corner. I threw my glove in the other corner. I threw my glove in that corner, and I went after Ciccone. I mean, what was the guy thinking?
Man, guys,
what was he even
thinking? This fight right
yeah.
now.
Did he drop his gloves too? He must have been ready for you.
He was
a pretty tough customer.
He was totally bewildered. Whoa. He had this big, sleepy kind of French Canadian Italian thing going on. What, buddy? What? He was a piece of work.
Stu Grimson in studio. So the book is called, you got a book out, The Grim Reaper, The Life and Career of a Reluctant Warrior. Why were you a reluctant warrior?
It's a bit of a misnomer, I'm sure, because for folks that watch me play over the course of my career, I probably didn't look all that reluctant, but there was a stage kind of late teens, early 20s. It's a hard role to adopt, especially when you're not playing a lot and you're asked to kind of go out there and provide that physical component for your team. And it's hard to manufacture the adrenaline to just go from 0 to 100 miles an hour and go lock horns with somebody, 6'4", 6'5", 230 pounds. It takes a while to grow into that. I walked away from an opportunity to turn pro in the game. Calgary drafted me in '85. I went to their training camp. A week into it, I walked out. I said, I don't think this is for me. I played a couple of years of college hockey and kind of grew up a little bit and finally came to the conclusion I want to take a crack at pro hockey and see if I can actually carve out an NHL career for myself. But there was this period of reluctance where it took a while to kind of mature into that mindset, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Did you ever enjoy fighting? Like a fight, though? Was there one in particular where you're like, this is one I want to take on, and I'm happy the way it played out?
You know, that's a good question. I don't think I've ever been asked that before. As a general premise, I didn't really care for fighting. I didn't care for that role, but I played it because the upside, the benefits to playing in the NHL far outweighed this. You know, I was only fighting. I fight once every 3 or 4 games that would last 40 or 50 seconds. So, you know, I didn't really care for the role of fighter. But Proby and I used to lock horns all the time. Bob was a big, fierce competitor. Towards the end of his career, you know, I was still, you know, I was still in really top form, and he and I used to lock horns all the time. I was kind of getting the better of Proby towards the end of my career, and if I ever enjoyed it, it was those coming out on top, fighting one of the best.
Right. That would be pretty gratifying, I would think.
How did you come up with this? I mean, people have asked me, and my story is probably not wanting to tell to everybody, but everybody gets asked. How did you say, you know what, I want to put this on pen and paper and tell everyone my story?
Well, you know, it took me a long time to get to that place. I had a lot of people kind of in my ear over the years. I think ultimately it was my wife. Jennifer and I have been together for 4 years now, and she kept preaching to me, the story's a really interesting one. And I think it was really, she was the tipping point for me, And I think at the end of the day, and I'm sure you probably will go through this at some point, think about it in this context. Yes, it's about the stories. And yes, it's about the career of somebody that played at the NHL level for a long, long time. That's an interesting story all by itself. But for me, this is what kind of turned it for me. When you do that, you learn something about yourself, and you learn something about making a living at a really high level. There are challenges that go along with it. And to be able to communicate that to other people, and they might get something from it that benefits them, that for me, I think at the end of the day, it provided some substance to the project itself, the subject matter itself. I think that's ultimately why I came down on, I'll write it.
The book is called The Grim Reaper, The Life and Career of a Reluctant Warrior. You can find it wherever books are sold. Stu Grimson in studio. When you scored a goal, your teammates' reaction, what was that like?
I scored a lot of goals.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at your hockey
17
DB.
in total.
Not
I scored
bad.
a lot of goals.
I remember you scored a big one in Colorado one night. Just the best celebration, stick up in the air.
I mean, far and away, that's the most fun. I mean, it really is incredible. And maybe, I don't know, O can speak to this better than I can. Maybe, you know, when you're doing that 30, 40 or so times a year, it loses a little bit of the luster and the appeal. But that really is the best part of the game. Can I tell you, the most memorable goal I ever scored, I was playing for the Detroit Red Wings. We're in the Western Conference Finals against Chicago. I hadn't been playing at all, and we're down by a goal in game 3 of that series. We're up in the series, and Western Conference Finals. I've been on the bench for about a period and change. Scotty throws me out there. Scotty Bowman throws me out there. Keith Primo, Tim Taylor with me, and lo and behold, Tim Taylor and I get a 2-on-1 break against Steve Smith. Taylor threads a beautiful pass right past Smith over to me. I bang it through Eddie Belfour's legs. I crashed into the end wall because I had to go down on my knees to get it. I mean, I'd still be there today if Keith Primo hadn't come and scooped me up and brought me back to the bench. But I was numb for the rest of that game. It was a big moment, and a guy like me doesn't often contribute in a moment like that, but far and away, and it leaves you wanting to do it again and again and again. It's the most fun.
That would have been cool. Was that at home or on the road?
On the road, in Chicago, an old building that I played in.
Pretty familiar with that. Stu Grimson in studio. Do you ever go back and watch your YouTube clips?
I catch myself chasing the rabbit down the hole every now and then late at night, and I get so damn worked up. I'm like, I got to stop this. I can't fall asleep. You know, you get back into the moment, and it gets the energy and the juices flowing again.
Does it feel like you're reliving it?
I guess if you don't really remember each one, it could be like live entertainment. You're like, I don't remember what happened here.
Sometimes that's the case. You don't remember. Oh gosh, I don't remember. He got a couple in on me there. Like, you know, why I should have done this, or oh man, I really smoked him there. You know, it gets the juices flowing again, and in a not so healthy way. And there you are, 2 o'clock in the morning, trying to get yourself to sleep.
No kidding. The book is The Grim Reaper, The Life and Career of a Reluctant Warrior. He is longtime NHL'er, former teammate of O's. Really appreciate you coming in studio. Good luck with the book, and thank you for doing this.
Thanks so much. Pleasure to be a part of the discussion. Really enjoyed it. And great to see you again, my friend.
You got it, Stewie.
There he is, Stu Grimson.